Well, good morning and Happy New Year, Apron Strings people. I'm so glad to have y'all here with me. It's Tuesday morning, the first Tuesday of the new year. And I got up feeling good, and I had promised y'all a video today, so I'm in the kitchen getting ready to do that. We had wonderful Christmas holidays, a great New Year's Eve with some of the kids here to eat some of the traditional food on New Year's Day. They came and our neighbors popped a lot of firecrackers and beautiful fireworks that evening. So the kids enjoyed that. And I did something that old-time tradition. We used to have what we would call a watch night service. And we would go to church like 8 or 9 o'clock on Christmas Eve and have service. And then we would be praying when the old year left and the new year entered. And then we would have breakfast. It was just something that we used to do. Well, time and circumstances changed all of the routines and the traditions, I guess, and so we don't do that anymore. And generally we would have the Lord's Supper at that church service. So anyway, I went into my bedroom, and a little bit before the new year changed, I began to pray and ask the Lord to search me and to let me be what He wants me to be this year, and to shine for Him, and what we used to call praying the old year out and the new year in. So let me just tell you, I'm expecting God's blessings this year. I'm expecting a better year than 21 was. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to what God's going to do on my Apron Strings channel. I've asked Him to let it to grow. I need the financial side of it. If it would grow and I could make more money just right here at home when you retire and you're on a fixed income, anything extra helps. So I'm looking forward to the growth and meeting new people and interacting with y'all and sharing good stuff with you, whether it's cooking or sewing or gardening or just talking or playing the piano or, you know, whatever it is. I like to share and I like to talk and I like to visit. So I guess I've talked enough. Let's talk about this recipe. Now it's a good alternative to lasagna because you make it with raviola, and raviola is already shaped and filled for you. Now I'm short on my raviola. I don't know what happened. I bought 2 different containers, and when I went out to the freezer, I can only find one. So I don't know if somebody got it out of my buggy when I wasn't looking and I didn't realize it, but it isn't there, and it would be right on the top because it's in my little bitty freezer where I move everything often. So I'm going to have a scaled down amount of the raviola in it. But as usual, my ground beef was frozen, so I've got it in the skillet back here. Y'all can see this one. I've got it thawing, and it's just about thawed because I started it a little bit ahead of time. And I'm going to whiz up some onion, actually going to turn an onion into basically mush, to where if people come by that would eat a bite of this, because I always have food left over. So I'm going to see if I can whiz it up where the onion won't show to put in it. But I'm going to put some onion and garlic in my beef. And we're going to layer this casserole up and get it cooking. And I've got a big old pot of pinto beans cooking right here to go with it. I love beans. And I don't know what else I'm going to make. It does have some spinach in it. And I buy the organic baby spinach because that's just easier. I just always worry about grit and stuff being in just the regular greens. I don't like to taste grit in my food. So, and you need some spaghetti sauce. Of course you need garlic, and then garlic and onion powder too. Always good, onion and garlic powder. And that's going to be it, in mozzarella cheese and maybe a little Parmesan if you have it. So we're going to get it all going. I'm going to get y'all where you can see the butcher block when I start assembling it. And we'll have a good casserole to go with our pinto beans. But I want to go ahead and get it made where I can get it uploaded, and maybe y'all will get it today. Troy had a 6-month checkup at the electrophysiologist for his defibrillator in downtown Houston, so he's gone in the car, and I don't like to drive his truck. He's got a big old nice Dodge truck that has a long wheelbase on it. And that old long tail thing's hard to park. You park it and part of it seems like it's sticking out. And I'm afraid somebody will hit it and it'll be my fault. So I don't drive his truck much, but I got the neatest little baby car. I drive a Mitsubishi Mirage. And it's little, and then I call it my baby car, but it gets 40 miles to the gallon. It's easy to park. I can get in and out of wherever I want to go. And that is my choice of a vehicle. And if something happens to it, I want another little one just like it, because it's been a good one. So anyhow, he went to Houston, of course, in my little car, because it's easier to park in the parking garage. So I may run to town in his truck and upload the video, but I doubt it. But hopefully y'all get it today. Okay, let me get you on over here and we'll see what we got to do next. I know I have to boil my raviola for just a few minutes, and I'll get that done. And then when I start layering everything, I'll bring y'all over here to watch what I'm doing. Okay, my beef is just about done. I'm going to put some water in this pot to boil my raviola. It says to bring your water to a boil. Put it in for about 3 minutes. So that's just what I'm going to do. And get it going. And what I'm going to do on this, because I don't have an exact recipe, but what I'm going to do is make it in a smaller pan where I'll have a full layer of the raviola. I wanted to do a 9 by 13, but you know, something happened to part of my raviola and I don't have time to make egg noodles and make some more. I guess I could, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to make a smaller one, but all you have to do is just double your amounts and put as much meat in it. You'll see what I'm saying. I'm going to give you a list of ingredients, but you'll have to just kind of fix it according to the size of your family or the number of guests that you're going to be feeding. You can make this in a big old pan and serve it like after church or something with a salad, but today we're just going to have it with pinto beans, and I'm probably going to spoil those grandkids a little bit and make some fried cornbread to go with the beans. They like that. So anyhow, let me get my onion out and get it chopped up, and I'll show y'all. Y'all have seen it, but it's one of my favorite little gadgets, a little small food processor that'll just whiz it up to mush, and you get all the flavor without the crunch of the onion in it. So I'm going to be using that here in a minute and getting the onion going and getting on with making my casserole. Okay, here's my little chopper, and it's a KitchenAid, and I don't know what how the cup size is, but let me just tell you, it whizzes stuff up good. And I usually chop it up a little bit before I put it in there, and that makes it easier to fit and get it all done at about the same time. I'm going to show y'all. See, it's just pulverized. It looks like rice almost, only smaller pieces. Now while I'm over here, I'm going to show y'all something else that I just happened to run up on. And yours probably has it too. The seasoned stuffing from Pepperidge Farm at my Walmart yesterday. Every flavor, the cubed white bread, the traditional cornbread, and the herb stuffing was marked down to $1 a bag. This will keep in your freezer. And it's good for a quick meal, especially if you've canned you some chicken like in a pint. You can make a quick little pan of chicken and dressing for a meal. And for $1 a bag, a package of cornbread mix costs almost $1. So that's a good deal. And another something that I found, I went to Costco particularly looking for the Bare, B-A-R-E, chicken nuggets. My grandson loves them. We do too. They taste like Chick-fil-A. They were totally out. But I happened to see this cute jar. I hope y'all can see. It's so dark over here. It's all kinds of olives and some pickles and stuff in there. But the olives are not super salty. They're really good. But I got it because I wanted this little jar. I think this was $9. And it's a big old, I don't have my cheaters on. It is 74 ounces. So no, it is not. Let me get some glasses on and I'll tell you. Yes, it's 74.7 ounces of olives in here. So that's a good deal. And see how pretty they are? There's all different kinds. I just love it. So I thought I would share that with you. That was at Costco. And yesterday, for the first time, I've never seen this, Costco had Meyer lemons. And these were like $5 for this big old bag. So if you like Meyer lemons and you're like me, your trees froze and you don't have any being produced for you this year, that might be an option if your Costco carries the Meyer lemons. I did get a few more things. I got the Campari tomatoes that I like so well. I've told y'all before, they're like fresh tomatoes in the wintertime. They have a really good flavor. So I did get a package of those. I didn't do a whole lot of shopping. I went in for the chicken tenders and they didn't have them. So let's get over to the skillet and I'll get my pulverized onions in there to cook with that meat for a little bit. Then we'll get back on track and do an Italian casserole. How's that? Oh, the raviola that I'm going to use came from Trader Joe's, and it's roasted cauliflower and cheese raviola, and I'm on a Facebook page, things that you find at Costco or whatever the name of it is, and everybody says this is wonderful. So I thought I would put it in my casserole and just see what I think about it. But that's the one we're using. But this is a 8 ounce. And I think I would need 16 ounces to do a big casserole. So I'm going to do this smaller oval. And it's probably 8 inches across by maybe 10 inches long. But it's little. Okay, let's get over to the stove and we'll get the onions in and let them cook. And probably they'll just basically disappear. That's what I want. I want them to disappear where nobody will know they're in there. Now, if they watch the video, they're going to know, but we'll see. Okay, my water's boiling. So I need to get my raviola in there. So I'll just do it the easy way. And I need to put a little bit of salt because the only way that you're going to get flavor into pasta is to do it while you're cooking it. Otherwise, it's a carrier for the sauce that you put it in. And I'm going to put my onions into my meat here. And this is a sweet, I think it said it's a Peru or Peruvian or something. It's a sweet onion. Troy don't really like sweet onion, but I bought a bag of just yellow onions, and let me just tell you, I could taste almost a bitter taste. And so I decided that he'd just have to deal with the sweet onions because I don't like the bitter onion taste in my food. Okay, y'all, I'm just going to let that onion sweat down some, and then I'm going to put a couple of cloves of garlic or 3 or 4 cloves of garlic or whatever I decide to put in there. I do need to set my timer though for my raviola to cook right. It's boiling, so I'm going to set it for 3 minutes. And then we will be right back. I'm going to add some garlic powder, and I'm just going to sprinkle it in, probably a half a teaspoon, because I don't have but about 3/4 of a pound of beef here. And some onion powder. And a little bit of black pepper. And I'm not going to grind it, I'm just going to use some of this. I'm going to put a little bit of chives in it, just because I have them and I like the green in it. And I want some parsley in it. And I used my other jar of parsley, I forgot, when I made gumbo, so let me get this one open. Sprinkle some in. I would like to have fresh, but I don't. Okay, it's time to drain my pasta. I haven't salted this because I guess I better though, because I like for the meat to have flavor too. So let's put, I'm going to start out with about a 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to put some Italian seasoning in here also. Let me drain my ravioli and I'll be right back. I'm going to add a little bit of this Italian seasoning into my, that's probably a tablespoon. And put that into, and I'll put about a tablespoon of butter, and I'm just going to toss my ravioli with it. Let the butter finish melting, and we'll get back to that in a minute. And I do want a little Italian seasoning in my meat. About a teaspoon. Get me a taster here and see what it tastes like. I'm just using Ragu Chunky Garden pasta sauce. Now you could leave the meat out and just layer your vegetables and your pasta and your cheese, and I guess it would be vegan if that's what you wanted. How I like my little garlic peeler, and you can get them at Bed Bath & Beyond. In fact, my son wanted one, and I got him one for Christmas because he cooks with lots of garlic. And he's getting to be a really good cook. He was telling me some of the stuff he had been fixing, and oh my goodness, I wanted to go eat with him. And the ones that's eating it's giving him lots of compliments, so that's really good. Okay, I'm going to chop this up and put it into my meat mixture, and I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, y'all, I'm going to use two kinds of cheese. I'm going to use this Parmesan Romano and just mozzarella, and I'm just going to layer. So I'm going to start by putting a little bit of the pasta sauce in the bottom. And I'm just going to spread it around. And this is what I usually do. I'll still come in and add onion and garlic powder just for some more flavor. This pasta sauce is a little bit sweet, so that'll help a little bit. And I'm going to put a little bit of mozzarella. Y'all can layer however you choose. This is just what I do. And a little of my other Parmesan Romano for some flavor. And I'm going to put some spinach. And this is washed and ready to use. Now just to bind that, I'm going to add a little more mozzarella. And I'm going to add some of the meat mixture on top of the spinach. as much or as little as you want. And I'm going to add some more cheese. The Parmesan Romano. I like that flavor. I really do like it. Okay, now I'm going to add some raviolas, and it'll probably just about take all of this little package just to have some around on there. 8 ounces of them. And remember, I tossed them in butter and Italian seasoning. I had bought the roasted cauliflower, and then I bought some that was just cheese, and I just am sad that something happened to my other package, but that's okay. Can't wait to have some of this. It has the same taste satisfaction of lasagna to me. And you can also do this with tortellini. You really can, and it tastes really good. And now I want a little bit more cheese on top of that. This is Parmesan. And then I'm going to add some more spinach and then some meat. You know that spinach is just going to cook down to nothing. I've got my June oven heating to 350, and I heard the chime. I like to add cheese on top of stuff to bind it. So if y'all have watched me before, you know that I do that. Helps it to stick together better. And then, of course, we're going to top it with quite a bit of cheese. I'm going to just spread it around on the top. Y'all, we've had cold weather for us. Night before last, it got down to 27, which is bad because it only lasts a day or two, but it's enough to ruin the plants. So we got all of my hanging baskets and stuff off the front porch. Troy and Jordan got them into the greenhouse and got it closed up where they'd be safe. And the deal is, we had 27 that night, and it didn't get out of the 40s yesterday. And then last night it was low 30s, and after that it's going back up in the 50s and 60s and 70s. 2 days and all the work you have to do to protect everything. Lordy mercy, Texas weather. I cooked it 40 minutes. I did 30. It needed about 10 more minutes, and now it's perfect. A little bit browned. I'm fixing to dish some up and taste of it, so y'all can wish you was here with me. Okay, y'all can see that I've taken a section of it out. See the pieces of ravioli sticking out there. And here's the one that I've got in my plate that I'm going to get a picture of for the channel. I think y'all need to try this. It's delicious. Let's taste of it and see what it tastes like. I want a bite of the ravioli too. It's hot, so I'm going to blow on it a little bit. Give me a little piece of spinach. Whew, that's a big old mouthful, but I got a big old mouth. Mmm. Y'all better make you some of that. It's good. Very good. Now you got another supper recipe for your family or a Sunday dinner. Either one of them, it'll work perfectly. I hope y'all try the recipe, and I love it when I get comments saying you tried it and you liked it. Let me get a napkin. Napkin in our house, being interpreted as generally a paper towel. I have cloth napkins, napkin rings, and I love, love, love to sit down to a table set properly. But my family don't love, love, love all of that. So if Troy happens to go see our son and I'm here by myself, that's exactly what I do. I use my cloth napkins. I set my table. Not exactly the silverware like you would in a formal place, but it's nice and pretty. So once in a while I get to do it my way, but most of the time, this is the way it's done. Anyhow, y'all try the recipe. Let me know what you think about it. If you make any alterations on it. I thought about I could have added some pepperoni slices in there, but they're usually pretty greasy, and I didn't want any more grease because your cheese makes it a little bit greasy too. Anyhow, it's a good dish. Hope we march through 2022 with lots of fun and lots of good times, lots of laughs, making lots of good memories, and I hope that y'all will help me to pray for our country, that our country can be restored to what it has been in the past when God got His credit and things were a lot different. And the Bible says that the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. And there's no gender with God. That means men or women. So if we'll bind together and pray for our country and our leaders, I think God can make a difference. We can give it a try. Let's do that in 2022. In your daily prayers, ask God to bless America. God bless the United States of America and restore it to its glory days. We can try. And try to have faith and believe. Y'all, I got to get this video uploaded. I'm going to be back in a day or two with something else. I hope you enjoy it. I told you I don't have an actual recipe. You just use ravioli, ground beef, onion, garlic, some Italian seasoning, onion and garlic powder, a little bit of salt, and you have to have your cheese of your choice. Mozzarella, but then you can use Parmesan, or I use the blend, Parmesan Romano, and spinach, and you just layer it in there, and your choice of ravioli. And it's really, really good. So let me know if you try it, what you think about it, and I'll be back with something else for you to try and think about here in a few days. The good Lord bless you, and I'll see you soon right here at the Butcher Block.